Let's bring in our analyst, the commissioning editor of The Conversation Africa, Mr. Wale Fatade, joins us on the program. Mr. Fatade, it's so rare. It's a rare sight to see you virtually. I'm used to seeing you in studio. But good morning and welcome to the program.
Morning, Jeffrey. It's Christmas. So I left Lagos for you Lagos people. That's why I'm joining virtually today. And Merry Christmas to you guys, Bukola and Kayode.
Well,
Merry Christmas to you too.
We'll still have you back, so don't worry. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Definitely,
we'll have you back.
I make money in Lagos. I earn a living in Lagos, so I'll have to come back.
All right, let's get...
But I'm not missing Lagos.
We understand. You don't need to rub it in. Sorry. Let's get to the Nigerian Tribune. Nigerian Tribune is leading with the PDP issues. Destruction of PDP dangerous for Nigeria's democracy. That's credited to Makinde. That's media chat he had yesterday. Says Wike at a meeting promised Tinubu that he would hold PDP for him. They quoted him literally. You know, I regret backing him in 2023. That's Tinubu. He regrets backing Tinubu in 2023. Adelabu doesn't have capacity to organize Oyo APC for the president. What do you make of this story, Mr. Fatade?
By the way, it was nice seeing Kayode on that panel yesterday. I didn't watch the interview. I only caught snippets. And maybe I should declare this first. I admire Governor Makinde, who I have not met personally. I never met him. I got friends who worked with him before. As in his tenacity and his doggedness in securing the governorship seat of Oyo State, out there Oyo State. But yesterday, for me, it was just a kind of... it was funny that Bukola was just discovering that it was properly scripted and well arranged. That is what you have in public communications. He knew what he wanted to achieve with that. Jeffrey, do not despair. He's still your in-law, even though he made that money in your state. He's married to one of your sisters. So that should be something you should be careful about. But I think it just shows what a friend of mine, a fellow journalist, said earlier this year. He said Nigeria is a one-party state. That is only the first 11 that is playing at a certain period that is the ruling party. That every other person, they are part of that team. And Jeffrey, you love football as I do. The keeper that kept the lines yesterday for Crystal Palace against Arsenal at the Carabao Cup is somebody that has not been keeping before, and he did well. So that's what is happening in Nigeria. What Governor Makinde is doing is not surprising. Though I think I will take with a pinch of salt what he told the panel yesterday, that he's not contesting. I think he might be bringing his heart, he might be throwing his heart into the ring. And good enough that he admitted he was on the side of President Tinubu in 2023. So what changed? So, but I just see it as it shows how we are high on politics and low on governance in this part of the world. That's my take.
Interesting. And to be fair, when that question was put to him, when I asked him again to clarify, well, he said, let's first fix the party. I think for a lot of people, that was a pointer to, okay, we might be seeing that happen. But he was bigger on, if we don't have a party, then there's nothing to build on it. But yes.
Yeah, and I think, by the way, at a certain level, I am fixated, like Jeffrey, on fixing PDP. Not because I have any pecuniary interest with PDP, but I think that a stronger PDP will be better for Nigerians' politics. But I'm not sure. I don't think that is doable anymore. I think the party is gone. Yeah, I think so. Sadly, it's true.
I know a lot of Nigerians are also expecting the FCT minister to probably have a major conversation with pressmen. But that's a big story.
I think he got bigger fish to fry now. Fubara is on his neck in Rivers. So I think that should consume him more than media chat now, with due respect to our colleagues.
There you go. Vanguard newspaper, Mr. Fatade, is next. And Vanguard is focusing on the tax laws. We had Mr. Taiwo Idile on the program Monday, and we showed him those contentious sections, and he spoke about those issues. But take a look at what the NBA and incidentally, Mr. Atiku Abubakar have to say. They're seeking suspension of tax laws. NAS reenacts 2024-2025 budgets, ignores Tax Act's alteration, adjourns to January 2026, revises 2024 budget to 43.561 trillion naira, and 2025 to 48 trillion naira. But the tax law is the big one. Already they're trying to amend some sections, because that's where you see that they basically ignore the Tax Act alteration, because there are some issues that need to be altered already, I believe. But what do you make of this? Should it be suspended, or you think this is something that should go ahead because government says we're trying to reduce the tax burden?
I think the government has not come out clearly. The gentleman House of Reps member that rose up on the floor and spoke, we all saw him, we all had it. And then that your program on Monday, which I call snippets of, you show him that. And Mr. Oyedele, perhaps not in the best position to address that, because he was not the one that signed the law or passed the law, rather. So, but I think the government has not really told us clearly what exactly is with this tax law. Lamapi, the MBA under Mazia Famosigwe, they are actively involved in helping Nigerians. There have been a lot of misinformation, or I don't want to say disinformation, whichever one, that's been going on about the tax law. Even for someone at my level, I'm not really sure what is happening. And so in public communication, we were taught that if you had to explain over and over what you have explained the first time, it means you didn't get it right. That's where we are now. It's just up to the government to tell us more. I'm not sure what is happening to the tax law, sincerely. Because I'm careful, or one is bothered, if there are alterations, are we sure there are no other alterations? And if the process is faulty, the end product too naturally should be faulty.
You know, Mr. Fatade, that's why I keep asking about the administrative processes that are involved in the, transfer of the document from the legislative arm of government to the executive arm of government. Perhaps that's where the mischief, if you like, the error has occurred. And so who should we be questioning in that regard? But we've had assurances from the chairman of the Tax Reform Committee himself that the investigation is being done and we should wait for the outcomes before we begin to make conclusions. I'm
not sure Mr. Oyedele is in the right position to give that assurance. I mean, for goodness sake, he's a bureaucrat who's supposed to be implementing the law. He is not a National Assembly member. He's not part of the executive in that sense, or the president who assented to it. So I don't think him giving us assurance is not in his place to give us that assurance.
Interesting. All right, Mr. Fatade, let's head to the Guardian newspaper now, which takes a departure from, all of the other events of politics in the last 24 hours. Okay, let's try this Nigeria as we wait for the Guardian to be prepared. This Nigeria also trades on politics. PDP crisis, INEC rejects Turaki-led EXCO over pending court matters. And there are a few riders here. Secretary Ojara Anthony says agency won't act on demands to upload on website list of officers purportedly elected at the Ibadan convention. And what I didn't add at the beginning when we were talking about, the can of worms opened by the Governor Makinde yesterday is that they also have, INEC to face. So what are your thoughts on how this will play out with INEC's position rejecting the Turaki-led EXCO?
I think we're going to see a lot of drama in the court. There will be a lot of court processes or court action. But the gentleman INEC secretary might not be too fully, what's the right word now? I'm trying to choose my word carefully. Might not be truly open and honest with Nigerians. Because from what we remember, there was an INEC representative at that convention. Yes, that was widely reported, and INEC did not counter that. So what exactly is happening now? Possibly they have been served some court orders that we are not aware of. But I think, and remember, I think Kayode was in the studio that day. Or was it Jeffrey? Some months back, when I alluded to the fact that the federal government was responsible partially for what is happening in PDP. I think more light will be shed on that as the days go by. But for everybody who hopes to contest under the platform of PDP, I wish them well. But if I were them, I would start searching for other platforms. Because we are not sure whether it's the Turaki faction, which is the Makinde faction now, or the Wike faction that will win in court.
It's just so sad that we're here where the court decides a lot of things as far as the politics is concerned. And it's very confusing how this is playing out within our jurisprudence. On one hand, the court has ruled that we don't have any business with you.
The party affairs are internal affairs of the party.
Membership and leadership don't come here, except it has to do with nomination according to Section 8415. But we see lower courts assuming jurisdiction over and over again. But so that conversation around the decision of court is still a very big controversial one. But let's move on to the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian is showing a different path altogether. Investor fatigue. $14 billion infrastructure gap stalled deep sea port renewal plan. $14 billion infrastructure gap stalled deep sea port renewal plan. So you can see the Honorable Minister of Blue Economy and all of that. What do you make of this? Although this ministry, I keep commenting every time I have the opportunity that really, I don't know what goes on in this ministry. Former Governor Yetola, he doesn't speak to anyone. He doesn't grant no presser. You don't know whether he's doing well, he's not doing well. So if there's a minister that Nigerians don't even understand what is going on in his ministry, this ministry, and this is one ministry that has a lot of promise, you know. As when it was created, a lot of people applauded it because it was unique. But perhaps, I don't know whether it's the personality of the minister or something is really going on and we're not aware. What do you make of that ministry as you speak to this particular headline?
I think Governor Yetola, or former Governor Yetola, who, by the way, was my home state former governor, or his home state former governor, that's his usual style. A colleague, a gentleman, younger colleague who served as his media officer, he wrote his memoir recently, and presented that publicly. Governor Yetola or Minister Yetola is not a darling of the media. Really speaks. Starts it on, and is economical with his words. If many people are like him, you and I might not have jobs left because there might be nobody to report. And the other thing, I think, is more consumed by events at Osun State in who becomes the governor come next year, August. So he's more interested in that for who is flying his party's ticket, APC, and probably hoping that that fellow will emerge as a governor. But I think, speaking of this investor fatigue, I think the apart from our stock market, whereby you have external investors or foreign investors coming in, we've not seen foreigners investing in other parts of our economy, probably apart from the oil market where they have, the oil sector where they have always been. We need to do more to sell ourselves and to present ourselves to the public. But I know Mr. Yetola has been different fora globally, which was reported, international maritime sectors. International maritime sector meetings globally. So hopefully they will keep on selling Nigeria's seaports very well. It's attractive. At the Conversation Africa, we have published a lot of research on it. We're sitting on gold mine. But if politics will not take more time of Mr. Yetola, maybe we'll actually do more, and then we'll see what he's doing. Because it's like winking in the dark now.
Interesting times. What is clear is that if you're in government, you must be accountable and you must indeed do the work and show the workings, as young people will say these days. But Mr. Fatade, as we wind down, I saw one of the stories on the front page of Vanguard newspaper referring to Governor Diko Rade's statement that said federal government gets 52% of federation revenue, so stop blaming the governors alone. So it's funny how everybody keeps shifting the blame. Blame governors. They are not wetting the grass.
When the APC was in opposition, the problem was the president, was the federal government. So when the APC is in power now, the problem is not the state. I think it's just an unnecessary big bat. And the evidence of governance at all levels is staring us in our faces. How Nigeria is now, you just have to lay the blame at the doorpost of everybody. And the local government chairman, who we are not even sure are existing or are living.
And it takes me to my next question, which is in the spirit of the season. It's Christmas, Mr. Fatade. You have covered Christmas. Journalists rarely have breaks during Yuletide and celebrations. Is the spirit of Christmas declining? I need some sort of expert opinion. Is it declining or the economy? What exactly is going on?
No, it depends on what you are looking for. I've seen younger people still playing. I've seen Christmas decor. I've seen Christmas lights. I've seen people who are younger people still looking for new outfits for Christmas. And I've seen people asking, do Christmas for me? That Nigerian lingo that only us understand. So it depends on what you are looking for. And the carols are still being sung. So Christmas is still in the air. it depends on the joke of, I told somebody on Sunday at the church that it's not your birthday, it's Jesus' birthday. So don't worry yourself. Make you not do pass yourself, as the streets say. Enjoy whatever you have, but just be merry. The important thing is that we got Jesus during this season. That's all.
Fatade, always a delight to have you on the program. Enjoy wherever it is you are at. Wale Fatade is the commissioning editor of the Conversation
Thank you,
Africa.
Jeffrey.
Thank you so much for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. And we'll take a break. And when we come back after this break, we'll look at the state of the nation with our guest. Join us again.